What's up YouTube? This is Eric and welcome to my channel. This video here is about my experience with microdots, also pretty much known as LSD. It was one of those drugs that I experimented a lot with, especially when I was a teen and in school. Yes, I experimented a lot with it when I was in school. At school, my channel is all about suicide awareness, sobriety, mental health, mental illness, just making sure that nobody goes through life alone. So click that like and subscribe button, comment down below, hit that like button, and let's do this together. What's up YouTube? So this is my microdots experience. I am ADHD, and growing up, one of the things that I had learned about myself is I did experiment with a lot of drugs, and LSD Microdots was one of them. Uh, Acid was one of my favorite drugs. When I was growing up, I had no fear when it came to any kind of drugs, how it altered my brain, what it did to me, because I felt I was invincible. Of course I was young, and I'm stronger than all that. So when it came to microdots and LSD, it was something that, hey, I had no problem taking as much of as that I could get my hands on, because to me it was a fun, enlightening, blowing your mind experience. Looking back, yeah, wish I would have stayed away from it. Shit happens. So first off, what are microdots? Is LSD. LSD is a hallucinogen drug, and it's a very common hallucinogen drug, and it comes in many different forms. It comes in a drip form, it comes in microdot form, sugar cube form. This video isn't to glamorize the drug by any means, but just to share with my experience that hopefully maybe it helps somebody out there who might be struggling with the drug, realizes that, hey, maybe this isn't for me. And always in the way of educating others in the way of sobriety, because to me, sobriety is everything. I've been sober for 25 months. One of the proudest things I've done in my life to be able to pick up those pieces and go back at it. So what really led me to microdots and how I got these was, it was very common in the school. I grew up in a small town. The small town I grew up in, there was really three things that you ended up doing. You were either doing weed and smoking weed, which for me, weed wasn't all that. Like, I was not a fan of getting stoned. It just wasn't. Drinking or acid, LSD, however you want to call it, but tripping. Microdots was something that was actually rather easy to get there, and that was my drug of choice. My drug of choice at that time was microdots, was acid. If I could get my hands on it, I love the psychological effects that it gave me, the way that it made me feel, the way that it made my body feel, the way that I felt that it expanded and explored my mind. Because you will hear about different individuals out there that had these huge breakthroughs, whether it be creative writing or drawing or painting, whatever it might be, when it came to hallucinogen drugs. For me, I just wanted to get fucked up. That was really what it was. I just came up with excuses for it. So when it came to, if I could drink, I was going to drink. Weed wasn't really excited, but man, if there was acid, LSD, microdots, whatever it was, sugar cubes available, that's what I wanted. Where I would actually take these is at school. I was really big on getting high at school. I didn't really want to be in school. I hated school. So, well, let's face it, that's where all the kids are together. That's where I would get hooked up. And yes, it would go down in the bathroom like, hey, what do you have on you? Next thing you know, I'm getting some little foil squares that have microdots in them. What microdots look like is, it looks like a little, almost like a piece of rice in a sense that was really small like this. And you would put it on your tongue, let it sit there for 5 minutes, swallow it down, let it hit your system. Of course, you're slamming orange juice and anything vitamin C, because it's supposed to expand your trip even more. So, of course, you're an idiot that's walking around looking for as much vitamin C as you can, and you're taking vitamin C chewables, trying to keep that trip going. When it came to these, I also realized, well, I didn't have to just put it on my tongue to trip. I could make it hit my system quicker. So what do? You take it, you crush it up, and you snort it. Hits your system a lot faster, a lot quicker. And it's kind of like whenever you snort any drug out there, yeah, it enters into your bloodstream, your system right the fuck away. And it was one of those that it let me escape from school. It let me escape from life for a bit. But looking back, it was something that was really devastating. I got very lucky that I didn't really go down the hallucinogen route. I could have easily have went down that route. Thankfully, I ended up experimenting a decent amount with shrooms, and it wasn't something I really enjoyed, and so I kind of pulled away from that. And unfortunately, being an addict, I mean, you start off young. I mean, I started off at like 14 experimenting. It goes to show that addiction is something that starts at that really early age. And I mean, I'm in high school and I'm talking about, snorting microdots and tripping in school where, and after those, if I can get those, I mean, I'm getting drunk, I'm getting fucked up. I mean, that's what that dependence was already there. Yeah, as a kid, you just make up those excuses like, hey, I'm a kid, this is how I'm gonna live, I'm just experimenting, I can do it at this time. Yeah, it doesn't happen that way, man. If you're young and you're using, you're gonna be fucked a lot later on in life and probably realize that you're an addict. It's not my place to judge any addict or tell anybody how to get sober. You gotta want to get sober, but yeah, look at the warning signs. I mean, most addicts I know started off a lot younger. Plus, I mean, who the hell is snorting LSD? I was. Yep. Wanted to get high. And now, next thing you know, I'm going in school and I'm going through all my classes. I was in high school doing this. And I would only do it on the days that I didn't have any kind of sports activity afterwards because what it made me feel was if I would get into the bathroom, I'd get the microdot, I'd put it in my mouth, and I'd swallow. It'd be right around like second period. I'd start drinking some orange juice, and I knew I was going to get messed up that day. I would do 1 to 2 microdots easily at a time. Next thing you know, everything would slow down. It felt like I was in the Matrix movie, and everything slowed down. And my vision was the first thing of when I realized when I started really tripping, because it felt like my vision went from this to all of a sudden this, and that I could see everything because your pupils are dilating, and anybody in school or the people around me could tell when I was tripping because yeah, they're coming up to you and staring you in the eyeballs and they're going, "Oh, dude, how's your trip going right now?" Your vision would expand, and next thing I know, my body would get a numbness feeling, and I would laugh and I would see things all of a sudden that I knew weren't there, but they were there, and it would play those tricks on my brain. My favorite thing to do would be to look at anything that had any kind of waves in it or any kind of like little crisscross designs in it. Like a school desk has all those little speckles in it, and I would literally watch pictures form in front of me, and I'd be so messed up that I'd be trying to explain to people what I'm seeing, and they're like, "Well, can you draw it?" And I can't draw it, but I just keep watching it mesh, and then it would change, and then it would change, and teachers would never even call me out on any of this shit. The only times that anything would go wrong when I was tripping was I would smack my foot on something, or I would. The greatest thing was I tried to jump over a desk. I'm tripping, smack my foot. Next thing you know, I think I'm bleeding like out of my foot. Like I start freaking out. It feels like blood is gushing out of my foot, and I'm pulling my shoe off. I'm patting my sock down, and I'm like, "There's no blood. There's no blood," but it feels like the blood is coming out. I mean, that's how much this drug really started to mess with my brain. That's towards the end when I started actually using the drug and started going more towards alcohol because alcohol, well, let's face it, it was legal. I didn't have to worry about getting in trouble. If I got caught with alcohol, hey, I'm a kid, oh, he's an athlete, all this stuff, hey, it's all good, and no worries on that. I didn't want these false feelings of like I'm bleeding out of my body and that slowness, but it was that experience of that looking into something and seeing these pictures, to see these visions, to see this movement around me of just wow, look at this. And it was a mural that constantly moved. It was like looking into one of those books and trying to find the sailboat, but instead of finding the sailboat, you found the sailboat, you found Jack Sparrow, and you found a bunch of other shit over here that then moved into over here, and the whole hurricane took over, and you're going, dude, what the hell is going on? And it was a fun giggling high. It wasn't a paranoia high. It wasn't a freaking out high of, there's bugs on me, anything like that. It just, the one thing I did notice is that I got really sensitive on my skin. And if shit hit me, I swear to God, I mean, I'm bleeding out my fucking arm now, or I'm bleeding out my foot. And that was really my sign of like, hey, I'm not going to really do this anymore, because I mean, the trip for me would last for about 6 hours. That would be like hardcore how I was be long. I'd be tripping for. I'd be slamming a lot of orange juice with it, and it would kind of wear off. And I would still be able to sleep at night, but like I would have these dreams still of like laying in bed and trying to tell the toys in my head like to stop, making noise so that I could sleep. I mean, and the the drug side of my brain is going, dude, this is awesome. And the other reality side of my brain that was still able to think straight is going, man, something's wrong here. Like, you can't be doing this anymore. Um, and the thing that really then ended up having me stop it was also the fact that it ruined alcohol for me at the time. Like, if I was tripping and I drank, I couldn't get a drinking buzz, and I loved the drinking buzz. So this wasn't something that I really wanted to do because now it made drinking pointless if I was tripping. And I was like, I would rather get fucked up off of alcohol than this right here. I know that this is fucking with my brain, and alcohol's safer. Yeah, later on in life, I learned that it isn't. But in my head, that's what I'm thinking, and I'm justifying it. And so I could take a microdot, or I could drop some acid, and I could drink, man, a fifth of vodka and not even feel it because of how my brain is functioning at the time. And I'm not getting that alcoholic buzz or that alcohol buzz going on that I wanted. That was that, hey, let's party, rock on, motherfuckers. And instead, I'm staring at the fucking wall and I'm not enjoying the parties like I wanted to enjoy parties. So I ended up just really switching away from, hey, I'm going to be using, more LSD microdots, and I'm switching now to alcohol because that's the buzz that I want. Again, either one, I wish I would have known back then as a kid that, hey, dude, you have addictive personalities. I just thought I was a kid. I was partying and I was living the shit up, dude. I'm going to live forever. This is just temporary. But later on in life, then all of a sudden I realized that, dude, I'm a full blown alcoholic, and I went through a whole gambit of different drugs. This was just the beginning of it. It was something that I literally, when I stopped using it though, I stopped using it. Never went back to really wanting to experiment anymore with microdots or LSD. I'd already done that, been there, done that. Didn't really want to go through it anymore. Went on to something new. That's how my addiction worked. Is my addiction liked to jump. So it ended up jumping from LSD, jumping over to alcohol. Went hardcore into alcohol. It's a battle. I mean, if you're out there and you are struggling with any kind of addiction, no matter what it is, whether it is alcohol, whether it's opiates, whether it's heroin, whether it's meth, whatever it might be, down below in the description, I have links to AA, to NA, to Al-Anon if you have a family member that's struggling with it. I mean, the sobriety side of life is so much better than what the addiction side of life has been for me. Even down in the links I have, everything to the social media accounts that I have. Like I had mentioned earlier, I mean, this channel is all about mental health, mental illness, suicide awareness, just making sure that nobody goes alone in life, and sharing through our experiences, our tools, and our resources of what we've been through to help other people fight, because that's what it is. It's a people helping people thing. It's a we thing. It's us thing, fighting through together every single day. Down below, also, I have the link to the mental health Discord. It's a mental health community of people helping people, of peer-to-peer support. There's no doctors, there's no counselors in there. It's just sharing our experiences. I was a professional addict. I share my experiences all the time of what it's like to be a professional addict, and that we can move through it, we can heal through it. So I hope that you might have got something out of this. If you haven't clicked the like and subscribe button, it's right down there. Comment down below. Love to have your comments. Love to hear from you. And again, you got this. If you're struggling out there, reach out for help. Scream for help. Help makes a difference. Support makes a difference. And together we can do this. Until the next video, click that like and subscribe button. Hit the little bell if you want the notifications. We got this.